Hello, welcome and namaste. In this video, I will share how you can create a solid portfolio project in just 6 to 12 weeks. This is a simple timeline where in week 1, you will pick your project, dissect that project into smaller features, application flow, and some kind of rough mock-up. In 1 week, you will be able to do all that. Week number 2, you will select your technology, you will set up your GitHub, Jira for project management or any other tool. Week 3 to 5 is where you're coding. Now, if you have more time, if you can spend more time, like 12 weeks, then you expand that duration to a longer duration, such as 3 to 10 weeks. In this duration, you will do all the coding, testing, deployment, whatnot. And the final 2 week is where you will finish the coding, create a demo site, deploy it somewhere, and create a presentation as well, because those notes can help you in the interview as well as updating your resume and portfolio website. And then the final week is where you finish everything. You update your resume, LinkedIn, portfolio website. If you have friends, you can demo to them so that you can get some practice. And that's about it. Now, I have been part of this Dallas software developer groups. They do a cohort a couple of times a year, twice a year, I believe. And I'm leading one of the team in that cohort. So Kunal reached out to me and asked if I can guide him. He did apply, but he couldn't get into that. But he asked me if I can guide him. So I'm creating this video for Kunal so that he can do it on his own. It will include the high level steps. Okay. Again, this is the high level timeline. Now, Kunal, what you will be doing, which you already did as per our discussion, that you will be asking 2 or 3 other people to join you. And if you want to follow, if anyone else want to follow, you could do this project on your own, or you can ask around. If you have a team of 2-3 people, that obviously give you opportunity to talk around, solve each other problem, and work as a team, which is the experience that most employer will be looking for, and also the experience that you will get when you are in the workforce. So these are high level steps. Again, step just to start from the point you have an idea to the point where you're starting. All right. And I will share this template with you. Some of the data I generated through ChatGPT, so just FYI, data such as this sample. So build a team, decide how will you communicate, whether you will be talking daily, weekly, some kind of a sync up, right? Then you will pick a project and expand that project into different areas of work, different features, how the application will flow. And then there will be tools that you will have to select. Then you will have to select technology. You will have to configure your project management software, and then you finally will be able to start coding. So let's go step by step. Step number 1, build a team. Now, you want to make sure that the people you're selecting, the people you're asking, have the same kind of need and emotion as you. You don't want to ask for a person who is currently already busy with 10 other things, or who does not have a similar kind of desperation or desire or goals as yours, right? Think about that. Also think about people who complement your skills. So if you're very heavy with the back end, and so maybe a front end person, if that person join your team, you can balance. So think about that as well. And then this could be the very first step where you're listing what skill that they have. what are the different roles that they want to play, your primary skills and things like that. The email to use in GitHub and Jira and things like that. Again, this is sample data. I don't know how and where ChatGPT had picked it. Then, as I said, that you would decide a weekly or daily time. In our case, we meet weekly, plus we meet a couple of times, sometime multiple time a day. Then come up with an agreement that you all can agree on. This is crucial. Whether you will be updating Jira or GitHub project once a day, whether you will be, what kind of communication system that you will be using. It could be Discord, Slack, WhatsApp, Telegram. Right? It could be anything, but the commitment will be to check it once a day. Right, at least once a day somebody will check it, everybody will check it, things like that. Right, and why everybody want to do this project, why it is important, so that when somebody is behind, they can go back and can motivate themselves. These are the sample, just an idea that what it could be. Pick a team, have their contact information, and make an agreement. Okay, so that's step number one. Step number two, let's get into the project. So you could have any project idea. Think about this. A project idea, the project that you build to learn, they could be hundreds of projects. But when it comes to a portfolio project, you want to build something that you can try different things. It has an application flow, it has a purpose, it's solving something, meaning it has to be some significance, not just a calculator, right, or a dummy website. So in this case, I have generated some project idea through ChatGPT. These are actually great ideas that can be expanded into a solid application. So you can use one of these ideas, or if you already have an idea, you can just use that as well. Once you pick a project, now we are going deeper. Now we're going deeper into exactly how you will expand. So in this case, there is an example of a testimonial website where I expanded that into different areas of work. And after that, went deeper into the more functionality. I can share this with you later. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. Okay, so you break that application into smaller pieces. Even with any one of them, you will have to dissect that line by line. What are the different areas? Typical areas are login, some kind of landing page, some kind of profile, some kind of activities. But also with application, you will find like inventory, like with, I'm gonna pick, for example, in this case, boutique retail stock, there will be some screens to build the inventory and update the inventory, and then some for sales, some for a dashboard where you can capture the analytics as well as display some kind of reports. So those will be different sections, different areas of work, and then you dissect them even further. Similarly, with any application, you will have a sign in, forget password, or create account and log in. You go to home screen and then you go deeper. So you start with those kind of application flow to break this, and then you design, and then you create some kind of wireframe. It could be handwritten on Notepad. And here's an example. And I wanted to emphasize on this. You don't need fancy tool. You don't need to spend hours and hours learning Figma. You can do everything in your note, and that's the way to go. Try as much as you can avoid the technology hurdle so that you can spend more time brainstorming and expanding the idea, thinking about how everything will work. Those are more important than creating a fancy mock-up in Figma. Okay, so we talk about all the tools. We talk about the project and expanding and all that, right? So now let's talk about the tools. So you typically need these tools to create a project. But you can go even more fancier. There are hundreds of tools that you could use, but at minimum, start with this. Again, try to keep it simple. So you definitely need GitHub. So create a repository, add your team member, create folder structure, and then come up with some kind of branching strategy. Typically, you create a project, you create the dev, test, prod, branch along with the main. Whenever somebody is developing, whenever somebody is making any kind of change, that change goes into dev branch, right? The simple configuration, and then from there it goes to test and prod. I will share. So this is our code repository that we have created to, so it's as simple as, let me show, as simple as going there and creating a new code repository, typing some names, right? So you create a new repository, in our case DST cohort 2024 is, and then you create folder structure, you get your readme file done, the basic one. We are using Vercel, and in this case NextGen and Vercel, and it created this folder structure for us, and then definitely we will make changes. We have this dev, test, and main branch, and then finally you go to the setting and then add your team member. Also, there are many ways how you can configure your local environment, connect with this GitHub repository, but simplest is you go select code, clone, SSH, I heard that's better, and then you click open with GitHub. So when you use desktop and you say that, it shows the config, shows the mapping, and then from there you can clone it. So now I have that listed on my local environment. Anytime I will make a change, it will detect that. I can also open this project in Visual Studio Code. So let's say page, and if I make a change, a sample change here. Okay, so I made a change, save it, I go back to one change file, so it's showing me the change file. I can, and then I can commit directly from here. Commit to main, I could have changed that. So anyway, it's just a demo. Going back here, so that's how you can configure all your GitHub, ensure that everybody has access, and then once you're done with setup, ask everybody to make sure that they're able to make changes. Now that's GitHub. The second part of this is Figma. So let me open my Figma. Figma come with a free account and paid account. You should be able to do everything in your free account. This is just an example of how we started. This is how we dissected the project. Different team member put their thoughts, right? So this is a starting point. And then we created some kind of high level flow, dissected the application. So this is the initial step. After the initial step, we went into some kind of high level flow. The user will register, sign in. First time user will go to this screen and whatnot. So all that happened, and then we'll come to this part, and then there are other activities that are happening, right? So you can see Figma can help you with many things. Obviously you could use many different type of tool. I suggest keeping it simple, and you can see that this was a simple sticky note that we have used. This is a simple flowchart that we have used, right? So going back to my suggestion, don't spend too much time exploring all possible templates. Just use the sticky note and done. Okay, there are Miro and Lucid app as well that you could use. But anyway, if you use Figma, you will be able to not only do all these activities, but also create a prototype. And I believe Miro and Lucid may also allow you to do that. So pick just one. Let's go to the Jira. I love Jira. We use it for at Advent Health, and I've been using it for more than 10-15 years now. Jira comes with a free tier where you can create a Jira account with 10 users. And this is our Jira for DSD. There is a timeline view. I set it to 3 months. And if I expand everything, the way Jira work, you create a epic. Underneath, you create a stories. You have other options as well, like tasks, subtasks, bugs. Keep it simple. Just go with the stories and epic. So create, this is just a sample. In Agile, you would do it slightly different. In my case, I just wanted to show it based on the information we have. But if you're Agile, you will go with a particular feature, and then that you create that as a epic, and then stories underneath. So this is the view number 1. The view number 2 is the Kanban view, and so we will be using Kanban, in which you have list of all the different items. They are arranged in the priority order, and you can move them around to indicate what's more important. And this is the sequence that developers will pick. Then developer will pick one of the item, then each will have one. So in our case, 6 developers will have 6. In your team, if you have 3 people, you will have 3 in progress, right? Those are simple rules in Kanban, that you don't have multiple in progress item. And then once you're done with it, you move it to goals. This is another view. It connects with your code repository as well. So there are additional things that you could do. Let's not get into all that and keep ourselves into this particular view. You can create your issues, epic and issue stories, timeline view, or the board view, right? So those options are there. Let's go back to this Word document. So you're done with Jira. There are other options as well, like GitHub project. I love GitHub project. I've been exploring that. So you could go to GitHub project, and you can create a new project. Once you create a new project, you will have all the options. Again, you will get all these different options. You just select Kanban. Explore everything, but then keep it simple. You create the project. Now you have ability to create item, ready, in progress, review, done. And this is just one view. Once you create a view, you have an option to create more views, right? So you're not limited to how you started. You can have more. And then I guess you will have to add different people to the project. So just like this, you can create all your item here. The reason I like GitHub projects, because you can eliminate one additional tool, right? So you can build entire project using Google Doc, Jira, Google Doc, GitHub, and Figma, and you don't have to worry about too many tools. So that's why I like it. Again, and the advantage of using something like Jira is many organizations use this. It's more professional software development software, recognized software. So if you know this, it will be an added advantage, and you will get, while talking, you will be able to mention Jira and how you and your team was collaborating on different issues. Okay. All right. From there is Google Doc, Confluence, and GitHub repository. For documentation, there are obviously other options. Go here. So in this case, I've been using Google Doc. Jira comes with Confluence, which you could use as your documentation place. So your stories, your work, and your documents at one place. You could also use a doc folder inside your GitHub. Everything is there again. So once again, your goal is to combine or have a holistic view. So again, you can choose one of them. Now, next thing is pick a collaboration tool. In our case, we are using Discord, and I won't show using Discord, but you could use Discord, Slack, WhatsApp, Telegram, anything, even the Twitter group will work. What you want to make sure is there's a connected conversation like a conference call, and then there is offline conversation where everybody is asking questions, both answering, and things are happening synchronous as well as asynchronous. A tool like Slack and Discord allow you to have voice call or with screen sharing, voice call, video call with screen sharing. So something like that will work. Now, Discord, disclaimer, you could have spent a couple of weeks just to configure your Discord. It's a lot to start with. Just create a server. Don't create too many channels. Just create server, 1 or 2 channel, add your friends, and then start working on it. And then expand as you need. Let's go to the deployment section. We're using Vercel. There is Netlify as well. And then we're probably gonna use either AWS and Azure as well. So anyway, that's all yet to come. We're not trying to solve the problem that's not here yet. We want to have the first few steps, which is define the project, break down it, and then start coding. All right. Once you have that kind of understanding in the first week, around that time, either late first week or next week, that's when you start thinking about the technology. You don't have to pick technology as your day one activity. You want to have the tool set up. You want to have the project understanding and then pick a technology. By the time, if you do that way, then you also have an understanding of what tech stack is best fit for this project. There are so many options in language, framework, web identity. So you consider what's good for the project. Also consider what's good in the market. So if the people who are living in Dallas market, for example, there is React is popular there. And then on the back end, again, look for LinkedIn, another job portal, and see what kind of jobs is available for the type of programming job that you're looking at. So this is an example of the tech stack that we have built. Then once that is done, as I was saying, create Jira stories, assign it to different team members, have an understanding of how each person will move them from to do to in progress to done, and then start coding. So let's keep this video up to this point. What we have covered, we covered the steps to start, how you're building your team, some project ideas. We talk about the tools and tech stack. Again, going back to the first page, decide if you're building this in 6 week or 12 week. It doesn't matter, the steps are same. First 2 weeks are same, last 2 weeks are same. If you do the project in 12 weeks, you will have more time for coding. The very first step is pick the project, expand that into different areas, features, build an application flow and wireframe. So let's stick with that for this video, and then we'll come back with more. All right, Kunal, let me know how it goes, and then we can have a quick call with you and your team.